powerful service, and whatever gift you ask for, God will distribute those gifts. And one thing I realized about gifts is, we all have them. God has given all of us gifts. Now, what I did is I act as if I had the gift. I just got out and got busy. See, I was a shy kid. I wasn't a speaker. I had high anxiety. I always, isolated in the classroom as a young person. Nobody was talking to you. Hope everybody's okay back there. Praise the Lord. But the thing is that you almost got to act as if. I mean, so many people sit on the sidelines. They want a mainline blessing with the sideline commitment. Lord, all right, is everybody done moving around? Can we sit down? I got to do it. Lord, I thank you for another day above ground and out of prison. Lord, I am so honored to be in the midst of such great people tonight on a beautiful day that we all made a conscious decision to come here to help our sobriety to get free. Lord, I ask that you remove me from the equation. Lord, I ask that you soften hearts and open minds. Lord, that we're talking literally about life and death. Lord, as Gina sits in heaven tonight, she didn't know she was going to heaven on Saturday night. Lord, none of us know what our next move may be. So I pray that people listen with diligence. And if they have a hard time hearing, pray to you that they may be able to hear. Because, Lord, I have a hard time hearing. And without your help, I wouldn't absorb anything. Lord, I thank you for this community. I thank you for the love in it. I thank you for the people that are yet to come. I thank you for the people that have kept it going. Lord, I thank you for the people that have walked away. Lord, I thank you for the people that are grateful. Lord, I thank you for the people that are ungrateful. Lord, I thank you for the people that are all in. I thank you for the people that are twisted. Lord, I thank you for everything. Because you promised us that you work everything, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, for the good. For those who are on with your purpose and that love you, Lord, clearly you're on point here. Clearly you're on point. This is you, not us. And what an honor it is that you would pick a ragamuffin crackhead like me. 11-time loser, never made it work after treatment, went back out and got drunk and high every time. That you in grace and mercy would pick me up off the floor once again to give me another shot at this. Lord, I pray to you that I never forget how serious that is. As soon as I get complacent and ungrateful, I pray that you smack me upside the head with a 2x4. Because, Lord, that's sometimes what it takes for a guy like me to listen. Lord, I pray that I don't have to go out there for some more research to think that I can drink socially or use socially. Lord, I pray that you keep me in this program. Lord, I pray that you put the people in the places to give me the accountability that a drug addict like me needs, which is heavy accountability. Because of that accountability, Lord, I'm able to enjoy my life today. I'm no longer preoccupied with what's going to happen from 2 hours from now. Lord, I'm grateful and I'm pure, I'm present, which is your gift. Lord, I pray the spirit of seriousness in here right now in the name of Jesus. I rebuke in the name of Jesus the spirit of laziness and complacency and poor attitudes. You ain't got time for them, and nor do I. I will no longer let people with a bad attitude drain me of my energy. Lord, I will focus on those who want it and work with those who want it, those who want to be worked with. Lord, I ask the ones that think they got all the answers, that they come to the end of themselves and remember when they got here, they were laying right on their face. And I thank you for that moment in my life that I was laying on my face. Because I didn't know how much I realized I needed you until you were all I had. When I realized that, God, you sent in the people to help me. Lord, I never want to take for granted who those people are. That they would take times out of their normal life to help a person like me. Because I'm not easy to work with. Lord, I thank you for your love and tolerance. I thank you for their love and tolerance. And Lord, as we dare to talk about gifts that you've instilled in people like us, that you want to show yourself off in us, because somebody will have to believe in you after you see what you do in us. Lord, you are here. I thank you for that. Lord, whatever you're going to do tonight, remove me out of the situation and do it. In your name we pray, amen. Amen. And it is distracting because of my ADD. I know, I wasn't talking to the people people that have to move around, and I know people have to go to the bathroom, but it's distracting to me when people move around. And just as much as it's distracting to me, you might distract somebody else that maybe for the first time tonight is able to listen, and then you might affect that. That's something. One thing that I had to learn is to be considerate because of my drug addiction. I mean, not because of my drug addiction, because I chose to use drugs. I was not a considerate person. So when I came into my program, I had to learn how to be considerate. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Love you, brother. How you doing? God bless you. And that was my ADD, but I love that man right there. But the key is that we learn how to be considerate. If you want people to be considerate to you, you need to be considerate first. One thing that I often, wondered about myself that, I want everybody to forgive me for my past, but if somebody does me wrong, I won't forgive them. That don't make no sense. The world calls it karma, the Bible calls it reaping what you sow, but at the end of the day, we've got to change one thing, that's everything. My best thinking got me here, and my very thinking ain't going to keep me here. I've got to, learn what is it that the program is offering, what it requests for me. But we're talking about the 28-day challenge. We're 10 days into the 28-day challenge, and the majority of us are on board. And what I have to ask myself is, if you were anything like me and you're having a hard time with the challenge, well, the bottom line is not call it a challenge because it's easy. It's called a challenge because it's going to be difficult. Nothing good is ever easy. See, you got to learn, and I got to learn how to stretch myself to do what I don't want to do so I can do what I want to do. So this 28-day challenge, I went to 3 house meetings last night, and I would tell you, the 3 houses are on board. And I don't believe they're lying to me. I can see it in their spirits. I can see the gratitude. I can see the diligence. And God is going to reward that. But this past Sunday, we talked about gifts and the benefits of a spirit. So last week I talked to you and I went on the internet. And I want to bring it not just from a supernatural perspective or a recovery perspective, from a human perspective. Every human being, mind gets messed up. Every human being, the spirit gets, low at times, depending on what are the things that make a spirit low. Could be clouds, could be a long winter, could be a depression, whatever it may be. But as I did some research on the human spirit, every one of those things that I saw, I'm not saying every one of them, but every one that I saw said it has to do with spirituality. The key to a healthy human spirit as we go through this mind, body, and spirit 28-day challenge is spirituality. And we talked about the Spirit on Sunday in Hebrews 10:15-17. The Spirit makes a covenant with you. A lot of us have a hard time believing that God will make a covenant with us because, number one, we broke and wide from people that we said we wouldn't. And people have left us. For those of us who have abandonment issues, we have a hard time buying off on the fact that God's going to make a covenant with us, that He will give us a new mind and heart, that once the Spirit gets involved, the Holy Spirit, and I'm here to tell you, I can testify that it is true, the fact is that you won't even, God says, I'm going to cast your sins in the sea of forgetfulness. As far as the east to the west, I will have no memory of them. Why is it that you remember everything? Why is it that if somebody brings up your past, it affects your day? See, you want to allow God to operate in that sense. In John 14:26-27, He calls Him our advocate, our teacher, our reminder, our peace. Let me tell you, I've done a lot of dope. And dope and alcohol fries your brain, okay? Now, I'm grateful for the Holy Spirit, that I'm able to teach and remember Scriptures, and I'm remembering when I'm tempted what Scripture I'm supposed to speak to that temptation. Isn't it something that people would rather choose to talk about their problems versus talk to their problems? Yeah. You got to start talking to your problems. That's right. I'm not going to bow down to you problem. Instead of looking for empathy and sympathy and woe is me and the self-pity, pour me another drink, we need to start talking back to our circumstances. Don't allow your circumstances to talk to you. But I'm grateful for the Spirit that it reminds me and it gives me peace. 2 Corinthians 1:22. The Spirit sets you, it says that what God's going to do for you. Why did He pick you? Why did He pick you you up out of the hell that you were in your addiction or your alcoholism. Why did he save you? Why are there still other people other than you out there using and drinking? Why are people deceased? Why? What makes you so special? Within blocks of this church, there's people suffering from alcoholism and addiction. The Holy Spirit says, I'm going to set you apart. And I want to tell you, He set you apart for His own use, to carry the message to the still suffering alcoholic. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about, that He sets you apart for His own use. He gives you a seal and a guarantee of the promises to come. The only people that don't experience the promises after the 9 steps of AA are the people that don't work 9 steps. The promises of AA say they always materialize if you work for them. Well, they ain't going to materialize if you ain't working for them. God ain't going to lose His reputation over you, and the God in AA ain't going to lose His reputation over you. The reason why I had the reputation that I did is because I didn't work it. And that's what it's saying here. I mean, how would your life look if you really believed that God put a seal and a guarantee that He's got promises for you? I think your day would look a little differently. What about that scripture we read on Sunday? No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind can possibly conceive what God has prepared for those who love Him. Now, 10 years ago, I would never imagine in my mind of minds that we'd be sitting in this sanctuary with 140 people, some of the greatest people in the world, sitting here diligently coming week after week, wanting to better themselves and get to know God. I would have never imagined that. I never could have seen this. You know, I could have never seen a happy married man in myself. Could never see trying to be a good father. I could never see, somebody had to teach me to be my yeses and yeses and noes and noes. So, that's a guarantee that God gives you if you work this. John 16:8, the Spirit will convince and convict you. You know what? If you're anything like me, I need to be convinced sometimes to go do something that helps myself. One would think it's a no-brainer, but it ain't for a guy like me. I need somebody to motivate me to get to a meeting. I need somebody to teach me how to be honest. So, the Spirit convinces and convicts. Matthew 10:20. When you truly get the Spirit in you, it won't be you speaking, it'll be God speaking through you. And people know the difference between you speaking and God speaking. You go to a AA meeting, you go to a church, you come here, and how is it that the person speaking, it's like they followed you around all day and spoke directly to you tonight. Now, I didn't follow you around, but God's been with you all day. Same Spirit that's in you is the same Spirit that's in me. Same Spirit that's in Brett is the same Spirit that's in Steph. Now, if Steph nurtures and feeds the Spirit more than Brett does, well, of course Steph's going to have a different life than Brett. But they still have the same opportunity. See, God is an equal opportunity employer. When you go to work for Him, He doesn't play favorites. The game is there for all of us, and there's nothing that frustrates God more than what we learned in the 10 talents. Is the person that has an opportunity and does nothing with it. God don't want nothing to do with you. He'll bring you back when you repent and get serious. He's a loving, merciful God. But those are principles that we got to do. I can speak from my own personal testimony. That's how recovery works. Now, the gifts of the Spirit that we talked about on Sunday night were 1 Corinthians 12:8-10. Your gifts will keep you sober. So I really want you to put on your spiritual ears tonight to understand, if you don't utilize these gifts, most likely you're not going to stay sober. And I'm going to go through them one by one. So we looked at, it says, the Spirit gives the ability. See, I didn't have the ability to speak. I didn't have the ability of wise counsel. I didn't have the ability to try to help somebody because I was selfish. Just like the big book says, self-centered is a root. But He gives us the ability to do these things. And that's what we ask for on Sunday, wise advice. If you want to give wise advice, and I'm going to get more into special knowledge, great faith, gift of healing, perform miracles, prophecy, and discernment. But it's one, I'm here to tell you, the gifts are in you tonight, but you need to develop the gift. I am not going to live my life with potential anymore. I'm here to tell you, told me when I was 11-year-old, and they told me you got a lot of potential. I mean, what? Nobody's ever told me that. That's cool. You know, made a couple mistakes. 18, well, you got potential, man. I know you got potential in you. That's okay. 25, yeah, you know, still nowhere in life. You got potential. But then when they told me at 35 that I got potential, you know what? I'm getting sick of hearing that. I want to live out my potential. I mean, if God's given us the ability to receive and develop these gifts, but you have the gift, but how do you develop it? That's what I said earlier. When I got started, and I shared with you more in length on Sunday in this program, I didn't have a clue. I just got out of my own way and started serving people. I wanted to be encouraged. I started encouraging. I have high anxiety, so it was hard for me to be around people. But I got out of my own way, and I began to do what was suggested. So tonight I want to talk to you about how do you develop these gifts. Jeremiah 3:15. First and foremost, recognize who God has given you to develop your gifts. There's got to be a person in your life that's going to teach you this development. Without the shepherd in my life, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, and I still got a long ways to go. Speaking of which, a common thing that you'll hear in a program, and you've heard me say many times, I may not be where I should be, but I thank God I'm not what I used to be. There's way too much leniency for a guy like me. I may not be where I should be. That gives me way too much room to make mistakes. Because you know what will come out of my mouth? Well, at least I'm not drinking. Because I'm lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating. I mean, I've been that guy. So, I mean, what it's saying here is that God is going to give you somebody to help you develop those gifts. It says, I will give you a spiritual shepherd. How are you treating the people that God gave you to teach you? It says, after my own heart. You want to have a teacher in your life that's after God's own heart. In the final time. And that really stuck out to me with the recent death. How do you know that this might be your last shot? You say me here often. I'll say it often. I know I got another relapse in me. I don't know if I have another recovery. So I'm here to tell you, it might be your last opportunity, but I'm also here to tell you it's your turn to get this right. You've suffered enough. And as we say that, it says, who will feed you? That means that you need to be fed. I need to be fed. So I'm asking you tonight, who is your shepherd and who is feeding you? What are they supposed to feed you with? Knowledge, understanding, and judgment. I didn't get here because I had good judgment. Things that looked good my whole life didn't end up to be good. Relationships, jobs, whatever it was. One's too many, 1,000's never enough. I needed somebody to teach me knowledge, understanding, and judgment. So the first thing that it talks about God distributes gift is in 2 Peter 1:12. How do I get wise advice? I want to be a person that gives somebody advice. But how would I do that if my best thinking got me here? And I still want to drink sometimes anyway. But it says, wise advice. Someone had to teach me wise advice. 2 Peter 1:12 says, therefore, I will always remind you about these things. I need somebody to be all over me. Yes. And even if I know what to do, I need them to remind me what to do. And I can't say, who are you? I'm grown. Because I was a 35-year-old 10-year-old. When I got here, my mom had to pay my rent. And I'm grateful I had a mom to pay my rent. But the thing is that it says, I will remind you about these things, wise counsel, even though you already know them. Isn't it something to know something but not do it? Yeah. Even though you already know them, it says, are standing firm in faith. See, I mean, one thing that I've learned in my own life and having the honor of helping other people is, I use my daughter for an example, and her boyfriend. See, they've gotten through some tough times as individuals and as a couple, like we all do, but they've been doing good for a long time. So what I did, which was wrong of me to do, I stepped back, and I said, I just assume they're good. Don't ever assume anybody's good. And when you assume assume that you continue to not, and then you don't work with them and they're not working on the maintenance of their program. The bottom line is this, just because somebody's standing firm doesn't mean that they don't need to be reminded. When did we relapse? When things were going well. When we got comfortable. When everything fell back into place. I'm like the comeback kid. I'm heavily motivated when I ain't got nothing. Well, it's easy to give God everything when you have nothing. But what do you do to give God your time when you got to work 10 hours a day? Do you give Him the different things? What is it that you give Him? That's true humility, is when you give God the things. It's hard to balance it out. A lot of us have a hard time balancing our blessings, And if you don't know how to balance your blessings become burdens. And it's so critical to understand the fact is that, I don't know how to manage my blessings, man. I didn't get here on a winning streak, so I need somebody to teach me and remind me, hey, you're getting ahead of yourself. Hey, slow your roll down. Hey, maybe you shouldn't take that job. Because you got the talent, but you ain't got the character. And if you go where your talent takes you, your character ain't going to sustain you. And there we go again. You're in another treatment center, wasted another year of your life with a lot more consequences. Just man up right now and start facing the music. So for me to get wise advice, for you to get wise advice, I need to be taught wise advice. I need to be reminded through humility. 2 Peter 1:5 in the Amplified. How do I get special knowledge? I want that as a spiritual gift. I need to strive for more learnings. You're not going to get high off of yesterday's dope. The Big Book says it's a daily reprieve contingent on your spiritual condition. The Bible says, die daily and take up your cross and follow me. So the bottom line is I need to strive for more learning. If I want to have special knowledge, it says, for this very reason, adding to your diligence. If you were to ask anybody that's close to me, they're doing way more than they did last year in this program, and they're studying, and they're praying, and they're serving. You got to continue to strive for more diligence. You can't rest on yesterday's laurels like the Big Book says. You got to strive for more diligence. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a secret about yourself. You're some of the most driven people I've ever met in my life. Your drive has just been misused. You would not stop when the bartender said no. You went to another bar. When the dope man cut you off, you went and got more money. You got drive. Don't let anybody tell you ain't got no drive. That's what God gifted you with. It's just been misused. See, what it's saying here now is it's saying that, adding to your diligence. I'm okay. 2 days a week is fine. No. Next year you might require 6 days a week. And what's the difference of the progression in your faith versus the progression in your addiction? You were going to drink 1 day a week, it was 2 days a week, it was 7 days a week. So why should you be offended when God says, I want 3 days versus 2 now? You had no problem saying yes to your addiction. So when God says it and you want that special knowledge, I got to work, I'm tired. You know what, I got high when I was tired too. I stayed up all night when I had to work. It says adding to your diligence, to divine promises. So you add to your diligence, you get more promises. There are no limits with God. There are no limits. He will always exceed your expectations. Employ every effort. God wants your best in exercising your faith. That's what I said earlier. I didn't have much faith when I got started, so I just got busy and did what they told me to do. And if I was honest with myself, what they told me to do or suggested me to do wasn't things that were going to hurt me. Why is a guy like me so easily to go do something that's going to hurt me? And why do you have to motivate me to do something that's going to help me? That don't make no sense. But it's all of us, including me. So if you want special knowledge, you need to strive for more learning. And now it says, in exercising virtue, develop knowledge and intelligence. Let me tell you something. I was the type of guy that I waited for the end of everything. I procrastinated in school. I hated writing papers. The majority of the time I probably cheated off somebody else. So God, when He gets a hold of you, He instilled diligence. Every Sunday and Tuesday, I got to write a term paper now. But I never used to write. I never did it in school. I hated it. But when God gets a hold of you, it'll be His intelligence, not yours.
And I'm not academically strong. I mean, I can't even stand in the same room with my wife, but I mean, that's not my gift. But I've learned diligence. I've learned determination. So if you want special knowledge, you got to go after it. Hebrews 11, 1 and 2. If you want great faith, surround yourself with examples. AA says attraction rather than promotion. See, if you want to have great faith, you've got to be around people of great faith. Hebrews 11 is if you read that chapter in the Bible, it has many examples, including one person, Rahab, who was a prostitute, that had great faith. Great faith. So don't let yourself say you have nothing to offer. Study Rahab. It says, faith is confidence. See, if you want great faith, you got to be around confident people, not arrogant people. Confident people that you know that are on point. It says, that is what we hope for that will actually happen. Sometimes you might just have to piggyback off of somebody else's faith. Because you might say it's not going to work, but they're going to tell you, yes it will, just follow me. Follow me, follow God. See, a lot of times in my recovery, I had to mix my limited faith with somebody's magnitude of faith. It says it gives us assurance about the things we cannot see. You got to in order to get this, I have to have people see for me. If you do this, you're going to get that. Well, I can't see it, so I don't believe I'm going to get it. Well, then do it anyway. Amen. See, and that's what it says. Through their faith, the people in the days of old earned a good reputation. I married Scott and Penny on Saturday. I asked them in some marriage counseling, what was it, Penny, that attracted you about Scott? Was it the fact that he's been to 15 treatments, used to shoot dope, and was an alcoholic? No. What attracted me to Scott is that he loves Jesus. Not how much money he makes, what kind of job he has. What attracted me to Scott is that he loves Jesus. And he's a man of integrity. And that's what it says. I mean, there's not a better reputation you can have as a human being other than a person of faith, of great faith. People respect that. And it's not even about people. God respects it, and you're going to have self-respect. Luke 17:15, you want the gift of healing. What I had to realize is, maybe I need to just get out there to try to help heal a person before I even receive the healing. So I got out there and started helping people heal people, and all of a sudden I'm healed. And I acted as if I had it, because my gift had to be developed. There's no better satisfaction in life than to see somebody healed of their anxiety. To see healed of their depression and their fears. There ain't a business deal you can close on the planet that touches something like that. Because your reward ain't the business deal. Your reward will be in heaven. When it's all said and done, you will see who you impacted on earth. You can't take your possessions with you. And it says, and one of them, he said, check it out here now. Healing. Surround yourself with healed people. See, somebody that suffers with something that you suffer with, and you're both not healed, you're not going to be able to help them. You'll probably do more harm than good. But it says, and one of them, now this is talking about the 10 lepers. 1 out of the 10, I see this in treatment, I see it in Serenity Village, I see this in church. One of them, when he saw he was healed, returned with a loud voice, glorified God. How many people, once they get sober, come back to serve? Not many. And the majority of them realize. Have you called your treatment center lately, your counselor, and thanked him or her for helping you? See, the Bible says that not 10 of them, Jesus said, go get healed. All 10 got healed. But only one came back to thank him. And I see it all the time in my own life, and I see it. See, when my pastor's in the house, I reference him often during the sermon. I didn't get to this pulpit by myself. And I won't stay here by myself. It takes a village to raise a child. See, and it's so important to understand that I don't want to just be healed, I want to be whole. And it says in Isaiah 61, if you want to perform miracles, see, people take it in such a literal form. Be around people that are helping people. There's miracles all over this room. You want to perform a miracle? Teach an alcoholic not to drink. That's a miracle. Teach a drug addict not to shoot up. That's a miracle. It's not above you to be a miracle worker. There's miracles all over this place tonight. Amen. And to be a miracle worker, comfortable. God freed you to stretch you to free another person. And if you don't free another person, you ain't going to keep your freedom, because freedom ain't free. Proclaim good news to the poor. You know what? You're having a bad day? Well, it's about ready to get better. You want to sit in your self-pity? I ain't going to co-sign it. You better be grateful you're above ground and out of prison. You got a breath in your lungs. Because when I met you, you weren't doing so well. So don't get off your emotional roller coaster. Pep your step and get with the program. Proclaim the good news. The good news is God took a crackhead like me. A crackhead like me. And gave me another shot. That's good news. That's good news. Son, I love when he's little. Come walking in this program. No, I didn't sit on the street corner. I worked the streets. You ain't going to get nothing over on me. Go buy your dime bag dope again. I don't care. If you want to get free, it's here. See, and you want to be a person that you've been sent to bind up the brokenhearted. I had a broken heart. I don't know where that tyrant came from right now. I see it in some of you, that's why. I ain't got time for it. And I won't make time for it. Sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. When I got here, I had a broken heart. To proclaim freedom to the captives. I was a captive to drugs and alcohol, but after I got sober, I was still a prisoner between my 2 ears. And I needed somebody that was a miracle worker to help me clear the wreckage of my mind. John 16:13, prophecy. You want the gift of prophecy? Be around people that know the Word. I mean, prophecy, don't look at it from what it is. It is an extremely unbelievable gift from the literal form, but we all have it to a certain extent. If you're working with an alcoholic and an addict, you can give them prophecy. You say, if you work the first, and second, and third steps, this is what's going to happen. If you do a fourth and a fifth, this is what's going to happen. If you do a 6 and a 7, this is what's going to happen. Once you do those 7, I'm going to help you with 8 and 9. You're going to make the amends. It doesn't matter if they don't forgive you. We're about cleaning your side of the street. And then, by cleaning all that stuff out, you're going to be able, when you're wrong, to properly admit it. See, it's important to understand the fact is that the steps are the reason. But it says right here, prophecy, he will tell you about the future. Well, you know what? It's right here. If I had a big book in front of me, it's right there too. It tells you what's going to happen. But because a lot of us are sabotage artists, we're afraid of success. We live our entire lives waiting for the other shoe to drop, and when it doesn't drop, we force it down. And that's why the steps of AA are so critical. And it says in 1 Corinthians 2:14, discernment. If you want discernment, you got to be around discernment. You got to allow people to speak in your life. Be around people who know God. The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit, but considers them foolish. So if you're under the sound of my voice and you think this is foolish, you got limited godliness. This isn't foolish. This is life and death. I didn't get here on a winning streak. My best thing has got me here. I need to surrender. I need to give up everything. I need to listen to somebody else that has gone before me. The attraction rather than promotion. I've got to totally give my will over to the care of God, and most likely over to a godly person that's going to tell me how to live. Because I thought I had a drug problem. No, I had a living problem. I had a coping problem. I had a perspective problem. And that led me to alcohol. But I'm here to tell you tonight that you cannot keep what you have unless you give it away. It says in Luke 6:38, if you give away your gifts, you'll get more. It says give, and the gifts will be given to you. So pick one. Pick a gift. See, the Bible says the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. I mean, it doesn't take many to move a mountain. But at the end of the day, I mean, pick a gift, because God isn't going to lose his reputation over you. If you give of yourself within that gift, he's going to give you more gifts. See, God is not one of those equal exchange people. You give this, you get that. The Bible says in this particular passage that you give somebody that, about your program, your recovery program. Let me tell you something about your spirituality. What you put in will not even be close to what you get out. Whatever you put in, see, if I would have wrote God 10 years ago what I wanted my life to look like in 2014, I would have shortchanged him 1,000-fold for what he's done. Don't ever underestimate what God will do when you have a little bit of faith to give and get. Live a life as if you're confident. Live a life as if you don't have anxiety. Live a life as if you weren't an alcoholic. Live a life as if you might have some wise life. Live a life as if maybe you can encourage. Just get out there and do it. I'm not a big believer anymore of the Nike commercial, just do it. I like that. I used to like that tagline for years, just do it. We just got to do it. We just got to do it. You know what? I just changed the game on that logo. Just get it. God wants us not just to do it, He wants to have a track record. We just did that. You know what? We just did that. Look at these drug addict alcoholics. Yeah, we just did this. We didn't talk about it. We didn't fantasize about it. We did it. And if you can do this, what else can you do? So God is very clear about His promises when He says that, give it up, give it to people. It says, for the measure you deal out, getting nervous about that check. For the measure you deal out, check it out. With the measure you use when you confer benefits on others, it will be measured back to you, but not in an equal exchange. Proverbs 11:25, if you refresh people, you will be refreshed. A generous person, right there on that check, you guys, that's you. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. If you want to feel refreshed, start refreshing people. It's so important. We're just so sick. We're so used to being miserable. So when we get miserable again, we just like to crawl under our cocoon. Get out of your cocoon. It says in 1 Peter 4:8, your love will help remove the pain of the past. Not just with your past, but with other people. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. This is a very important principle here that you need to understand. The bottom line is this, that who's a resident of this program? So, why did you come here? You could have gone to other programs. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of transitional programs in the city. God. But beyond God, what was attractive about this? You experienced love here. Somebody in our midst respected you when you had no self-respect. And nobody has respected you for quite some time. Here's what I'm here to tell you. I'm telling you this. Above all, that means above everything. Love each other deeply. What if I don't know how to love? What if I don't know God is love? Well, learn. Give yourself away. It says, because love covers a multitude of sins. How many people in here got a multitude of sins? How many are not covered today and still haunt you? Be honest. You're not being honest. See, when you learn to love, when I meet people, I strive for love. And I ask God to help me because God is love, the Bible says. So when I go down to the jails or whatever, I don't care what these guys have done. I love them. And for a brief moment, when you're around people like that and you can love them, they forget about their past. They forget about their sins. And what God promises is that if you do that, you're going to cover their sins by your love and you're going to cover your own sins. Let me tell you something. I've done more dirt in 20 years of addiction than I'd ever like to talk about. I can't even remember it. Because God is who He says He is. He covered it because I learned how to love people. And let me tell you, when God calls you to love some pretty unlovable people that don't love themselves, it ain't easy. They want to push you away. They want to shut you down. in different situations. The Bible says in Hebrews 12 that God disciplines those he loves. You've all had God shut you down. Didn't mean he didn't love you. We might shut you down. Doesn't mean we don't love you. But how would I learn unless I'm shut down? How would I know that I can pursue excellence unless somebody pushes me? How would I know I'm a champion unless somebody encourages me? How would I know that, what it is? And I think it was in Jesus Calling yesterday, it says, those pockets of darkness. I see people not serious in their recovery. I was one of those guys. I was like a pocket of darkness. But I love what Jesus Calling said the other day. If you're in charge of your own life, you got something to worry about. That's the only time you need to worry, when you're in charge. And it's so important. Now let me just remind you of something. What did I teach upon earlier? That God will remind you of things. How can I remember what I went through? I can't. That's the Spirit. Ask my wife. I get stuck all the time. That's why I haven't bought a motorcycle. I gap out. But with the Spirit, I don't gap. With the Spirit, there is no gaps. See, it's so important that you guys understand that if you learn to love God, love yourself, and love other people, your sins are covered. 2 Peter 1, 8 through 10. If you continue to strive for more, you won't relapse. For if you possess these qualities in increasing measures, what did we talk about earlier? Strive for more diligence. You'll get more promises. And that's what it's saying. I've been possessed with the wrong things, but today, there's one thing that's healthy dependence. I'm dependent on God. That's my dependency now. And I've heard people come into churches and maybe even this place, whoa, they're trying to brainwash me. Your brain does need to be washed. But it says right here, for if you possess these qualities, I didn't get here because I had good qualities. I needed to learn new qualities in increasing measure. They will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ. See, I'm not going to walk around this planet in lack anymore. Everything I ever dreamed for is right here. And you know what? My whole life, I hoped I could be around people like you. You're great people. You're kind people. You're generous people. You're loving people. See, but I had to learn how to be generous and loving, and I learned that through people in recovery. See, that's what I said about gifts earlier. You're going to learn it when you're around people that have it. If you're going to learn how to be a doctor, you're going to learn how to be a doctor from other doctors. And you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to learn from lawyers. You're going to learn how to paint, you're going to learn it from other painters. Right, Mark? Yeah. You're going to learn it from people. You can say you're self-taught, yet to a certain extent. But it says, but whoever does not have them is nearsighted and blind. You forgot where you came from, man. You're not working a program, you forgot how sick you really were. Forgetting they have been cleansed from their past sins. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, it says, make every effort. I'm asking you tonight, are you making every effort in this 28-day challenge? To confirm. You know how you confirm and I confirm that I want to be sober? By working a book. A guy like me, my words mean nothing. Nobody's going to back anything that I say up unless I'm doing it. So how do I confirm I work a program? Calling. That the other day, I think it was yesterday, 24-hour day book said, are you glad you did something about it? After you hit again my memory. Are you glad that you did something about it? Are you glad you quit drinking? I am. But that's what it said in the book yesterday. So, that's your calling. You did something about it. Election. Are you grateful to be sober? And it says, for if you do these things, but here's the challenge. The word if. If you do them. There's nothing more troubling to me to see a person that I love on their way to relapse, and they won't listen to a word that is. And I have that in my midst right now. If you do these things, and I was the same way. For if you do these things, you will never fall. What if you did these things? You don't have to worry about the other shoe to drop. You don't have to worry about all the work you're doing today and your job and your families. You don't have to lose it again. Because God promises that you will never fall. Now in Isaiah 43:19, God gave it to you. Now put in the effort to develop it. Sunday night, He gave you a gift. But it's like what we talked about last week. A weapon isn't a weapon unless you use it. A gift, if it ain't used, you're going to lose it. But the thing is that I'm here to tell you, for I am about to do something new. God just did it. It says, see, I have already begun. Do you not see it? Let me tell you, I don't care where you're at spiritually. If you were here Sunday night, you saw something. You might have been freaked out. And I thank God that you came back. But, I had to challenge a guy yesterday, and he said, I was freaked out about that. I said, yeah, but weren't you freaked out the first time you saw somebody shoot up next to you? You still stay put. We're about ready to do a new thing. See, I've already begun. He's begun something marvelous in your guys' life. Including mine. Do you see it? See, when you're in it, you don't see it. Quit selling yourself short about the progress you make. The fact that you're here with me and you tonight is a miracle. In a church? Are you kidding me? But God wants to do a new thing. You got to let Him. He says, I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry. See, things that you didn't think you could do, you're about ready to do.
That's right.
Start to exercise, develop your gifts, get around people that have the gifts. And I'm here to tell you guys, you're champions. And there's a difference between a champ and a chump. It's the letter U. You're the only one that can make this not happen. God already made it happen. I love you. Let's take a 10-minute break.